Hey, what's going on guys, Hex here, and today we're taking a look at Masters of the Universe Class 6 Filmation Trapjaw. This is the second figure in the Grayskull subscription service, so the first one being He-Man, and so far with just two figures in this line, I can say that I'm absolutely pleased with it. I think they look beautiful. Looks like they jumped right out of the cartoon. Now, one of my buddies that knows more about Masters of the Universe than I do, I'm just kind of a fan. I had the toys when I was a kid, and I still watch the DVDs and stuff like that of the original cartoon. He told me that the Tila that came with the Point Dread and Talon Fighter set, that she was part of the Filmation line. So if that's true, then so far we got three figures in this line, and still hope we get another Tila. The face on this is kind of weird. I don't know. But so far, the line looks really good. As you can see, kind of the body types and heights, with the men, they always kind of had these muscular looks, and, same thing with, the legs and biceps and stuff like that, Matty, and even back then in the 80s, they reused a lot of parts, so something that you can kind of expect. Now, he comes with three accessories. He comes with, I'm just going to call it his gun. I don't know. There's probably specific names for all these little things, but I'm just going to call it gun, fly swatter, and bow or crossbow, whichever one. It doesn't matter. But I wish he kind of came with a couple of more. Now, again, this is part of the Filmation series, so this is supposed to look like he jumped right out of the cartoon, and that's why you have, these red, I'm just going to call this color red, even though it's not like bright red. But the red look for the arm, because that's what you saw in the cartoon. Or on the toy, you got the black. And also, I remember with the toy on the original vintage one, you got the gun, you got some kind of like clamp little thing, and you got a hook. It would have been cool if we would have got those as well. It's just kind of like throw-ins. But I do remember him using the bow. I'm not sure about the fly swatter. Maybe I do. But just kind of giving you guys a little 360 of him. There are a couple little flaws. I will point those out. They're nothing major to discourage you from, picking this up. I believe he is sold out, so if you didn't get the subscription, I think he went pretty quickly as far as day of sale as well. So if you're looking for him on the secondary market, hopefully I can help you in deciding whether you want to pick this figure up or not. Now, as far as the accessories, you can just attach the gun, just like so, and plug in the other accessory. You can see that it just fits in there just fine. Looks really cool. You could also do the same thing with the fly swatter, but you get the idea. All right, I'm going to put the gun back in just because that's probably what I'm always going to have them displayed with. I just think it's cool, and it reminds me of the kind of vintage toy as well, since I used to have him. But I want to get into the flaws real quick. All right, so the first one being that you can see up under the armpit here, where the gun is, there is a Sprue Mark. I'm saying that correctly. You can kind of see it right there, where that's something that I can take care of. I can get a little, fine sandpaper, and I can probably, sand that down a little bit and make it look a little bit more natural instead of just like it looks like a D. Like he just had it like tattooed on there or something like that. The other thing is this black piece, it's not that soft rubbery, feel. It's actually a black plastic, and it's a separate piece glued on here. And for the most part, you don't see any of that glue going around here until you get around. Try to put it in the light. You can see it right there, just a tiny little bit. If I didn't point it out, you probably wouldn't even notice. And this is one of these things that, this is my particular figure, so you might get yours and you might have tons of problems. You might not have any, but just kind of the random draw. This is kind of the issues that I have with mine, and these are going to be some of the positives, which I'll get into after this. The one last thing that I think was kind of a negative on the shin guard right here, you can see that it looks nice. Just that red, or kind of, I don't know, purplish, pinkish red, whatever color this is. On this one, it has some kind of like little black dots on it, if you can kind of see. It shows up a little bit better in hand than it does on the camera, but just something that I was kind of curious, like, why is that even on there? But anyways, those are the little issues that I have with mine. Other than, they're very, very minor. So, and when I do his arm like this, you can't see that too bad. This is, I just kind of ignore it, and this I ignore it. Not that big of a deal. So just wanted to kind of point those things out. Now, as far as the positives, and there are a lot of positives. Looking at the face, as far as, the number one thing with faces for me are the eyes. Are they looking directly at me? And good job with them, because they are just the dots and black dots on top of white. Sometimes those kind of run and they don't look good, or if you're a Star Wars Black Series collector, then you know exactly what I mean. Like, it's hard to get the eyes just right with them. But very nice job here. Everything looks clean. I don't see the white bleeding into the green or the green into the white. Same thing with the black with the eyebrows. They're not bleeding into the green, so they look very defined. Then you go with the helmet. I don't see any green on top of this. And then you get this kind of grayish purple color going around here. Everything looks good. Nothing bleeding or kind of spilling over into the red. So very nicely done. I do like that. So as far as the head, that's one of the things that I always look at kind of first. Always, how good is the head? Very fantastic job on that. So I really do like it a lot. Then going to the second pieces of paint, you got the green down here. Everything looks very clean, very nice. I don't see it spilling into the blue or anything like that, or any kind of splatter. Then with the belt, this is actually a separate piece. You have the green down here, which is painted. And then you have, this belt that is, can kind of move a little bit more freely. Now, it looks like on the back here that it might snap together, or maybe it's glued together. You know what? I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm not going to try to take it off. There's no reason to have it off. I'm just going to leave it on there. But then looking at the, the thighs with the green and the red going into the black, everything looks really good. I don't see the black spilling over into anything, or the red and green. So everything looks really good, except for, those little black spots that I pointed out earlier. Even going to the back here, I can see a little bit on this cap where you can see the red going into the black a little bit on both sides. But if I didn't point it out, you probably wouldn't even notice. So it's not really that big of a deal, to be honest. And, just the black boots down here. Would have been cool if they could have painted that middle part, this red, but it's all right, Now, as far as articulation goes, with the head, you're going to have it's on that ball joint, so it's going to be able to tilt side to side, rotate here. He's going to be able to get those kind of like sideways looks at you and stuff like that. Then the jaw, you just move it independently on your own, and you can see there's some nice black paint there in the jaw, which looks really cool, just like in the cartoon. This, you can have it all the way open if you want. Whenever you start to kind of, push down, or when he's looking down, you can see that it starts to close a little bit, but still you can have that open look, which I still think looks kind of intimidating. So very cool looking. With the arms, this arm goes out thus far and it rotates here. It is very, very tight to where wherever you move it, that's where it's going to stay. The bicep, it is very tight as well. So I can even tell you that if you put something very heavy in this hand and you just had it lifted up, this joint's not moving anywhere and this joint's not moving anywhere. They're just very solid. Then you have the elbow, which goes 90 degrees, and the wrist that rotates and goes left to right. With this shoulder, this obviously rotates 360 degrees, and it goes out thus far. So you have it here, or he can go out to the side and you can rotate that, kind of gangster lean it, and there you go. Now with the ab section, I'm not going to say that it's loose, but it's not tight like it is up here. It's probably the softest joint, but wherever you move it, I feel like that's where it's going to stay. So if you have it leaning back, in the middle, forward, it's just a softer joint. You can see that it moves a little bit more freely than you did in the shoulder, where you gotta, kind of apply a little bit of a pressure to it. Then you have the waist section, which moves, however you need it to, 360 degrees, which is nice. The legs, they go all the way out. You can kind of see how they are assembled here. So all the way out there. This is a soft rubbery plastic in the front and the back, so you can go front, back, however you need to. You can also see that thigh cut is very high, which is very nice. I like that. And the knees go 90 degrees. The feet, they go front and, well, not really back. They just kind of go front because it's kind of hindered by this point here. But you got the new feet with these Filmations, and they go left to right. At first, it was one of those things where I was like, I don't know if I like that, but now that I've had it with 2 figures, I can definitely tell you that it's a nice little feature. I like it to, get both, feet on the ground. And just giving you a last little 360 with him. He looks amazing with all the colors. I want all these figures right now. This is one of these lines that I'm very excited about. This, and also they're coming out with the Thundercats, so very excited for them. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.